Well, we can do a couple different topics. We have, are we overdue for next-gen video game consoles, or is streaming anime set to destroy physical distribution?
Let's just do them both.
Do them both?
I want to do the one below that later, but there's a reason.
Let's start with the first one. Next-gen video game consoles.
No.
No?
Not time yet.
Not time yet? Really?
I mean, yes, there's still room for improvement graphically and power-wise for the Xbox 360. The PS3 still has plenty of life left in it. The Wii needed an update at least. Okay, so I guess yes and no, but at the same time, like, developers don't like having a new console come out every couple of years because you have to relearn how to make a game for that new console, which requires new systems, and then it takes so much time that a lot of times launch titles are not very good. It takes a full year before games get good again.
And then they have to learn how to port it between all these new systems. With
yeah. And like, only the Wii needs it.
The only thing, I agree with you for the most part, Courtney. I think, though, the PS3 is very badly lacking in the RAM department. Yeah. I mean, if they could come out with, a higher RAM version of the PS3, that I'd be down with that.
I thought there was a newer PS3 model that's supposed to be coming out, but that might just be a rumor. That was a lower cost PS3.
Okay, but that lower cost means I guarantee it's not going to have more RAM.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, we could always go back to the Nintendo 64 days where they had the little adapter you plugged into it that would double the RAM on it or something like that.
And remember what it did to the quality of the gameplay?
Yeah, true.
When you pop that sucker in there?
Well, then maybe they could do something similar where it's an add-on whatnot. There's a number of freaking ports on it they could use.
The thing with, and I know you and I talked about this briefly the other week, Jason, that they can, even if they were to add the RAM, the games have to be programmed. A lot of developers would have to release patches for their games to take advantage of that RAM.
True.
Because they're used to writing writing a program for a game that only has 512 mega RAM. All of a sudden, you pop that up to 2 gigs. It's still only going to take up 512 mega RAM because that's all it's programmed to access.
That's one of the main reasons why I actually believe it's like 2012, 2013 was the right time that they should have started announcing the new consoles and moving forward with it. Yes, there's still more life that they can pull out of the 360 and the PS3, obviously, but given every single time they've always been so far behind the PC market, and that's, some people say it's dying. I believe it's stronger than ever.
I think the PC. I think if anything, the PC market is growing lately. And it had a serious downturn for a while, thanks to the 360 and the PS3. But I think of late with with what Blizzard's doing with Steam, there's been a large uptick in PC gaming lately.
And the whole thing was, I find with consoles that they're always trying to play catch up. They would definitely have to do a massive jump to get even to a point where they would be relevant compared to PC titles for several years. But then again, you can't keep it at that $399, $499 price tag.
I was going to say, you make that kind of jump, there's no way you're going to be able to keep the price point, even if you do it as a loss leader. I mean, they said the 360 was launched, it was a loss leader.
Yeah,
they were selling it for something like $150 less than what it cost them to make it, because they were making all their money on the licensing.
Yeah. But there's also things like what was it, Unreal Engine 4, and that's been announced.
That's gorgeous
and whatnot. Absolutely amazing what you can do with that. My question is something of that caliber able to be used on current gen consoles? I mean, Courtney, what do you think about that?
No, I don't think they quite have that power. Maybe the PS3 does. PS3 is pretty damn powerful still. Yeah, but the thing is, it's so much easier to upgrade and see advancements on PC gaming because it's the guts, it's the pieces of the computer that get upgraded and are constantly changing and evolving. Whereas with the console, in order to upgrade the system, you have to buy a whole new system.
It's like
you have to upgrade the entire system. It's all or nothing when it comes to consoles, and that's why they don't keep up as well as a PC does.
And I know it gives developers, they have to strive for more pixels, more designs, greater levels. And it gives them a challenge on that, and I understand that and I appreciate that. I still think that consoles are still even though, yes, I have a 360 and a PS3, and I used to have a Wii, they just sit there collecting dust. I use my PC for all my gaming now.
Well, yes and no. I mean, for me, I have to admit, my PS3 is mostly my really high-end, constantly updating Blu-ray player. But I also play a fair amount of games on it. The thing about the PS3 is like Courtney was saying earlier, there's a long way to go with that, because they haven't even begun to use its full potential. Out of the games that are out, how many of them actually use the 1080p functionality?
Good point.
Most of the games you get out there are running 720, maybe 1080i, and the machine's not breaking a sweat. Now,
I don't know,
you start firing some of the 3D at it. That gets a little chunky.
A little different.
But for
who wants to do 3D gaming anyway? It sucks.
I've never been really a big fan of it.
If I want my 3D gaming, I want it to be holodeck. I don't want it to be goggles.
Yes.
Oh, if only. But okay, so I guess we're a little bit agreeing, a little bit disagreeing on this topic and whatnot. Final thing, though, on this, Courtney, do you think that Sony and Microsoft will announce the next console at next year's E3, or wait longer?
Maybe Microsoft. Maybe, but probably not Sony.
Okay.
That's my guess. Yeah. It's still a little too early to predict that.
Well, hasn't Kaz and the rest of them said flat out they're not working on a console for at least another 2 years?
Wait, who? Who said that?
Was it Kaz Hirai or whoever the head of Sony is?
Oh, yeah, that would be for the PS3. Yeah, I mean, the PlayStation consoles have always been ahead of their time, which has allowed them to have the nice long 10-year lifespan. And I mean, people still buy PS2. I mean, there are very, very few people making games for it anymore, but look how long it's been around and how long it's lasted. And the PS3 will last just as long. So there's no reason for them to start. Plus, here's the other issue. Once you announce a new console, you need to put it out quickly, because when you announce it, it cannibalizes your sales on your current console. Because some people who are thinking, okay, say I'm thinking I'm going to buy a PlayStation 3. I'm going to go to the store next week and do it. And then tomorrow, Sony announces PlayStation 4. And in my brain, I go, wait, well, do I really want to buy a PS3, or do I want to wait until the PS4 comes out? So in that case, they might lose my sale or my purchase of the PS3. So they really don't want to announce it until they're close to ready to do it.
It's damn near ready to go.
Yeah. Now, what I would do if I was Microsoft, just based on the way that video games come out, when the popular ones start coming out in September. So I would do if I was Microsoft would be announce it at E3 and then launch in September with Halo 4. Or whenever Halo 4 is coming out. I don't even know.
Or launch holiday with TGS.
Yeah, well, no, not TGS. Microsoft isn't quite big enough in Japan. They wouldn't do it with TGS. They wouldn't do it.
I'm saying in conjunction with TGS. If they launch, because if they announce it at E3, they launch it at holiday, because TGS is November.
Really? I thought that was earlier.
No,
I would think that they would launch it a little sooner, but it depends, because they have to have launch titles ready.
Right.
And that's harder to do. I mean, I've heard rumors that people are already developing games for next generation systems, so I wouldn't be surprised if by May next year we know something more.
As long as they learn the lessons that Sega had with the Saturn. Hey, look, here's a Saturn. It's all fantastic. It's coming out in 3 months. Developers, now you get your kits.
Yeah, no.
Yes. But then they made the Dreamcast, and then all was better.
until they rolled over and gave it up.
Yeah, but still, there's actually several developers still making games for the Dreamcast. I love the fact that they do that still.
Wait a minute, who is?
There's several indie developers still making games for the Dreamcast.
Oh shit! Now I gotta go get a Dreamcast.
I think I have 2, so I might get you one.
Actually, I'll take one, because when I split with my ex, she kept the Dreamcast, so I wouldn't mind having one again.
Dude, I found one for $15 in a resale store. You can find them for cheap.
Yeah, well, when I went to SakuraCon sometime early last year, I went there and they had a Dreamcast with Sonic Adventure for $20. I was like, done.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Mine came with a free version of Soul Calibur in it because someone left it in the machine. Unfortunately, it didn't work.
Oh.
But still, it was nice.
Okay. Nice little surprise, just wish it worked.
Pleasant surprise.
Yes.
That didn't work, but whatever.
All right. Well, it's already 47. Okay, cool. Let's move along. I'm sure we can get through this one real quick. So, is streaming anime set to destroy physical distribution in the States? Just focusing on just the United States. What do you guys think?
Well, it depends. The thing is, there's a lot of stuff that's still not available on streaming. Mm-hmm. And some people really do like to own discs still. They like to own their anime and be able to watch it whenever. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it's going to kill it. It's definitely made an impact on DVD sales, and luckily people are, especially Funimation and Crunchyroll, are wising up to the fact that people want streaming, and so they're offering it in addition to other ways of selling their product. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it's going to kill it per se, although I've heard a lot of people say that eventually streaming, like everything will be streaming, video games will be streaming, movies will be streaming. The big thing that's stopping it right now is the lack of high-speed internet. Like, you'd think that everyone has it, but it's actually not as big of a percentage of even Americans who have high-speed internet as we think that there are. So it's not really feasible yet to have everything always be streaming. So you do need to offer that medium for people who don't have high-speed internet or don't have internet at all.
Yeah, I think it's actually sorry, Michael, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, my thought on it is the streaming will be a nice padding, if not a nice push into people wanting to get the physical copy of a series. I mean, you have Funimation, Crunchyroll, Viz to a point. We'll talk about that in a moment.
Viz is jumping wholeheartedly into that game.
Yes. Well, let me finish this and we'll go to that. My whole thing is that people will watch it on the streams. People will enjoy it on there. And then I guess a semi-relatively good-sized percentage of them, once the stream is done, they'll probably want to go own the full copy either on DVD or Blu-ray themselves. Because more often than not, they're coming with special, bonus features and maybe little toys and whatnot with it. I think it's a time.
I don't know.
I mean,
I have to disagree, because there are a lot of people who make that argument of why it's okay to pirate something. Like, oh, well, I'll buy it eventually when it comes out. I'm like, no, you probably won't, because you'll probably forget.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I can just watch it for free again. So
I and a couple of my friends are some of the few people who actually follow that. If you see it online, you watch it, you like it, actually go buy it, so that it tells the companies that that's the kind of thing you want to see. I've got shelves and shelves of DVDs to back that up. But the problem with the streams, and I'm going to take a slightly different angle than that.
Okay.
With the exception of what Viz has put on, a lot of what Viz has put on Hulu, which I think is going to go away once they start firing up Neon Alley, and it's going to suck because everything they're putting on stream is dubbed, except Crunchyroll, because Crunchyroll's getting it straight from Japan. But Crunchyroll only gets it. Crunchyroll's also, keep in mind, Crunchyroll started as a pirate site.
Yeah,
that's true.
And then it went legit. They got enough of a following that they were going to go to the companies going, okay, we've been showing your stuff. We've got the audience. You want us to go legit? We want to go legit. Give us the license. And that's how they kind of strong arm their way into that market. But with Funimation's new thing coming out, Viz is coming out with Neon Alley. They're gonna be doing this on-demand stuff, which will be great. But it's all freaking dubs. Now, realistically, as much as it pains me to admit this, 90% of your viewers don't care. 90% of your viewers don't even realize there was a Japanese track.
I almost want to disagree with you on that, because of the sole fact of where everybody knows where the anime is coming from. I mean, obviously, if it's coming from Japan, there's going to be a Japanese dialogue, which is going to come out before the English dub.
But your Pokemon kids, your Yu-Gi-Oh kids, your Narutards, they don't care.
Yeah, but you're also just kind of making up that it's 90%. Like, you'd have to actually we don't know what the actual number is, but there is a good chunk of people who don't.
I understand.
No, honey, it's 85% of all stats are all made up. Get it right.
See?